How long has it been?
3 years.
3 years. We probably should have listened to what we talked about 3 years ago. Do we look different, people?
Crickets. Welcome back. It's been 3 years later. And today is a little update, I guess you would call it, of what's been going on recently in our lives, both of us. So as he likes to call himself, my special guest.
I'm her special guest.
This is Uncle Tommy, my fun uncle.
The
Whatever you
Funkle.
want to call him.
The Funkle.
He has a lot of nicknames.
Yeah, I do. Right. I'm the Funkle. Yeah, and the Uncle and Niece podcast, Haley
Yes.
edition, Haley's podcast. I love Big Red.
So today we're just gonna really give an update of everything that's been happening. The last time we did a video, I was still in high school, deciding where I was gonna go,
Yeah.
not knowing what I was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot has happened since then. So I attend Texas State University in San Marcos. I am going to be a senior this coming spring semester. So it's my last semester, hopefully. And then I've changed my major quite a bit of times. But I was sticking to sports medicine for a while, wanted to become a physical therapist, realized I didn't necessarily want to go that route, mainly just because of school. Just realized I'm not really that into being in school for that long, so I changed my major to nursing, which I'm really excited about. It's always kind of been something that I wanted to do ever since I was little, just work healthcare in general, so I'm really happy with my decision. And right now I'm in the process of applying nursing schools, so there will be another update on that,
Yeah.
hopefully eventually soon. So just working on that, applying to nursing schools, trying to get an internship at a hospital hopefully next semester, which I'll start in January. And yeah, that's pretty much it with school.
Yeah.
Just been
Yeah.
busy taking classes. Right now we're on winter break, which is very much needed. And yeah, that's pretty much it with school life.
Yeah. I mean, go Bobcats.
Yeah.
I know we always talk about other schools and stuff, but I think you ended up where you need to be, and I think the career that you're going to go into was just set because you were going that into healthcare anyway,
Yeah.
in a ways, and so it all just transferred right over, and
Yeah.
and so I think it worked out, right? I mean,
It planned
we
itself
just
perfectly.
yeah, I mean, just God just puts us in different paths, and then one of them ends up being the right one.
Yeah.
We always, I mean, look at me, right?
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna do that same kind of work forever. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So speaking
that's
of,
cool.
give us a life update
Oh
on
yes,
you.
so life update for me is from 3 years ago. Um,
A
we
lot.
are fully on our own. So Auntie Veronica has retired from nursing. Probably about 2.5, almost 3 years now. And so she and I travel full time just doing the work. Sometimes you'll see intern Haley there, but less now because she has school and she has 2 jobs too that she forgot to talk about. But
Yeah.
we can go back to that. We can circle back later. And so now, we're just traveling, just doing the same thing. And now we're getting into something a little bit different, scaling back all the traveling because it's not something that's sustainable forever.
Yeah.
I mean, the older you get, and when you start just traveling and you're passing by monuments, things that people would love to go see, but you're just going by them because
Right.
you just
don't
want to get
you
home.
blink and you're like,
Yeah,
it's gone.
you just want to get home. The kind of the shine has worn off there a little bit of
Yeah.
the whole travel. I mean, when you do it for work, a lot of it's different. So. But yeah, I mean, we still like the kind of work, but we're changing the model of it to take less of that, be more selective,
Yeah.
more of an interview process because thank God we're able to do that now. and we want to get into a little bit more development. So and it's 3 years. Can you imagine? 3 years
A
even
lot
for me.
happens in three
A
years.
lot,
Mm-hmm.
a lot. So you
It
know,
doesn't seem like a lot, but it goes by pretty fast.
oh, I know it. I know it for sure. I mean, and I know you're seeing that too now because
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years and you're just about done with school and going
Yeah.
into to the program. So
Yeah. I know. I would always be like, like I would hear like my mom or like y'all would just like talk.
mhm,
I'd be like, oh, like that was like, oh, like not so long ago. And then we
yeah,
realized it was like quite a few bit, like a year ago or 2 years ago.
yeah,
And then it's like we don't think about it until like we see like, oh, it like pops up like on our phone and we're like, oh, that was a year ago or that was 2 years ago.
a memory.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, now I understand that time does
hmm
go by fast.
I know, just a different technology. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's how this whole thing started on from your perspective to mine. I mean,
Yeah.
memories for us were like looking through photos of remembering back. But now with technology, even like I saw one yesterday, I think it was that where we had gone to Idaho
Yeah. Yeah, that was two
for
years
Christmas
ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
can't
believe
even
that.
believe that. That does not feel that long ago at all.
No, no,
It,
I know you guys missed all of that. It
yeah.
was fun. It
Yeah,
was a fun
we had
disaster.
taken a trip to Idaho and we basically got snowed in, so we were inside for
Yeah.
like 4 days.
I think it was 4 days. Yeah, 3 4 days. Luckily, we had food, so
Yeah, we
we
had
didn't
foods,
starve
we did
because
starve.
we won't do that.
It was good, but it was really fun.
But yeah, I mean, so we're glad to be back for this like little update episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. And we were just talking about it and we were like, "Oh." And then Uncle
Mm-hmm.
Tommy had told me he was like, "It's been 3 years," and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, we need we need to do a new one because that's crazy how long ago it was."
I
But
was looking through YouTube at subscriptions and I saw yours and I was like, 3 years. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know.
it doesn't even. I feel
I
like it
think you
wasn't that
look a
long
little
ago.
different from 3 years ago too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had jaw surgery in the past 3 years.
We had talked about that beforehand, but kind of.
Yeah. Well, it finally fell through. 2 years? 2 years ago?
Yeah, was it like 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years
I
ago.
think so. It was before the Idaho trip, maybe I don't know. Who
No, it
knows?
was after
Okay,
because I had it in the
yeah,
summer.
yeah,
It was like June, and then no, it's been like a year and a half maybe.
yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, that happened, and
That's a lot. I
that was
mean,
yeah, that was
you
an
started
experience.
college, you stayed in the dorm in college, and now you're staying in an apartment. I mean, it's so, yeah. And then, I mean, a lot of things. It's amazing, right? In a short
Yeah,
time, started college, lived in the dorm, did the dorm life thing, realized it's not.
yeah, the dorm life was not exciting for me at all
No,
whatsoever.
no. And then the apartment is better because you have a little bit more freedom.
Living there, it's just ready to move and
Yeah. Yeah, you're ready for the
start
next.
another journey with it.
That's part of
But
growth. You're ready for the next.
yeah, but speaking with time difference, I wanted to talk about because lately this topic has been in my head,
Yeah.
and it was like the other day I was listening to music
Mhm.
because I am the type to like have to have music on like anytime I do
Mhm.
anything. Like I like background noise, yes, but like TV not so much. Like
Mhm.
I feel like if I have the TV on, like I have to watch it, and
Oh
like I
yeah.
can't focus on anything else. But like with music, it's like it's just in the background and it's just there.
Mhm.
Like sometimes yeah, like I'll get distracted on it because if it's like a song I like or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's not like necessarily like it'll distract me like full time. So like I always have music on. Like
Mhm.
if you were to ask my roommates, like they
Yeah.
always hear music in my room like all the time.
Mhm.
And then it's just like something that like I can't like I just can't cooperate without music. Like
Yeah.
it's just something that
Do
I
you
always have to have on.
do you have it even when you're reading?
Yeah, like sometimes I'll
Yeah.
have like those like soft jazz like
Yeah. Okay.
music or like whatever.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, just to like have something in the background because if it's too silent, my for whatever reason like my mind can't concentrate on anything. Like
Mhm.
I have to have music in order to concentrate.
Mhm.
Like even when I'm
Yeah.
studying, like I have to have at least like even if it is like jazz music or like something like soft like without
Mhm.
lyrics, like I'll be able to study better with it on rather than in silence because if it's like silence my brain like my thoughts just like overpower what I'm
Yeah.
doing, so it's just like I have to have music so I don't.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, when I'm at the house and I'm working, I'll have YouTube on, but
Mhm.
I'll have it just playing something in the background.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes I hear it, and sometimes I don't. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes it says something, I'm like, what? And I'll listen,
Yeah.
and then by the time I know it, I've lost like 30 minutes because I'm listening intensely to what
To what
somebody's
they're
talking about.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm not looking at like like jackass videos or anything. Like I'm
Yeah.
listening to like stuff,
To
like
music.
good stuff or music. Yeah. So if it's music, it usually doesn't distract me as much as like
Mm-hmm.
somebody talking on a a video podcast or a vlog or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, music, and I'll play music because after all, I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on this, and this needs music because I can't get distracted with what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. But I think jazz um, would be better because I don't get caught up on like a lyric or a conversation or
Yeah.
something. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah. I'll
But I
like
have to have something too.
I'll just like listen like on YouTube specifically, like I'll just find like playlists of like like common songs that you would hear like on the radio but without the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics. So it's just like the instruments playing.
You know.
So it's like not as distracting. But like when I do like homework, there's like this thing, it's called like the study method.
Yeah.
And it's basically like where you take a break for like 5 minutes and then like you study or like you do homework, whatever, for like 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it like takes a part of the time. Like it does it like in little sections.
Yeah.
So you kind of like don't overwork yourself as much. So like it'll set like a timer and like on YouTube, like it'll have like a pretty background or whatever, or like somebody will be like writing something, and then it'll just be like the timer would be on for like 35 minutes to 40 minutes, and then you take a break for 5 minutes, but like there's music playing in the background the
Yeah.
whole time, so it's just like it like helps you concentrate a lot better,
Mm-hmm.
which I learned like I really like it because it I can't sit down for more than like 10 minutes and like
Yeah.
focus on something because yeah, no, I
Yeah.
just can't, like I can't focus.
So have you ever heard of that? That have you ever heard that Mucinex commercial where the Mucinex little
Hmm. Yeah, the
thing?
little booger dude.
Yeah, the little booger dude is walking around, and somebody takes a Mucinex in the library, and it says, "Oh, you'll be good for 12 hours to study."
Oh.
Yeah, I could study for 12 hours, and
Yeah.
the little thing
Yeah.
says, "Who studies for 12 hours?"
Yeah.
That is too
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, I mean, it's because you have to break up your studying.
Time. Yeah.
That's why I can be good for 30 minutes, and then I kind of have to like take
Take
a
a
5 minute zone, and then or 10, and then I can go back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I try to be disciplined, but even I have a hard time going for like 2 hours of just straight
Yeah.
working and stuff. Now, if it's a call, I get a call between to break things up. Then you don't realize like, oh, I went an hour and a half of just a call, then a text, and then I answered.
Mhm.
Then I actually did some research on some stuff that I had to like look up
Yeah.
and reply to or answer. So it's kind of, it's that is different. But if it's just straight like reading emails and having to look back at drawings and figure
Yeah.
out like who screwed this up or whatever, or when was it added,
Yeah.
then that's like research to me. And so it 30 minutes break,
Yep.
30 minutes. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Yeah. And we
back
were.
then, I mean, when we were working, we had like Walkmans.
Mhm.
So you don't even know what that is, probably. But I mean, we had like this thing, and but you put a tape in it. Well, someone we had just played radio.
Mhm.
Then the newest ones came out and they played tapes, and then the ones after that played CDs.
Mhm.
The little little disc.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
So they played like DVDs, but they were
Mhm.
music, and so I had the radio ones early on, but they had like over the not like this, but it's full over the ear. It's just a little the little thing, and you plugged in. They weren't Bluetooth. The Bluetooth wasn't even a thought back then.
Yeah.
So we had those, and it was cool. But I think back like even when we had the disc.
Mhm.
And we were doing like I was back then. I would be doing that back because that's a while back. I
Yeah.
did physical work and stuff, and you bumping things around the ladder, and the disc is like moves and it skips. And like, God, you got to go back, So,
Yeah.
but now you can just you don't even have to have anything like that. Your
Yeah.
phone in your pocket, your phone 50 feet away or whatever,
Mhm.
your earbud in your ear, and it's all.
Yeah. Because I was like, we were talking about this earlier. Like, it's like now, like my generation, for instance, like we have Spotify, we have Apple
Oh
Music,
yeah,
we have YouTube. like so many platforms to like listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
It's like endless. Like there's not even ways to count how many things like
Yeah.
we could have to listen to music. But it's just like I don't know, it's just like I feel like for me personally, I've noticed like people around my age, like we always have to have music
Yeah.
on to
Mm-hmm.
like do anything really. And it's just something that like we have and like we
Mm-hmm.
don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's
It's
always
just
on.
there like
So you're okay. So I didn't go to college, right? I mean, went to work.
mhm.
But even back in the day of watching movies, the and they had somebody was in college and they're walking around. They're walking around in campus and
Yeah.
they're saying hello to people. They're sitting down in the library. They're kind of talking in the cafeteria or common area, whatever, the game room. I don't
Mhm.
know what they call it, the
Yeah.
rec room or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're doing that, right? But nowadays, you're in school and you know everybody's got something in their ears, whether in or over,
Yeah.
and really nobody talks to each other. Is that right?
Mm-mm. Yeah. For the most part, like you'll walk around like college campuses and everyone has headphones on.
Yeah.
It like sometimes like you'll see people like walking in groups and like talking, but it's just like for the majority of the time, like when you are by yourself, like someone has headphones in. Like
Yeah.
there's not a time like where I went into class and like no one had headphones next to me or like no one was
Mm-hmm.
listening to music or whatever. Like people just come into class with their headphones on. Sometimes like they'll leave them on the whole class period, like
Mm-hmm.
just completely like they're just literally just there.
Yeah.
You know,
And their
obviously
headphones are
like
still
not
off.
paying attention, but
Yeah.
they're just there. Um
Wow.
and it's like I mean, yeah, it's like kind of I guess a weird concept to like, you know, I guess like the older generation, but like for me it's like it's just the
Yeah.
normal thing cuz like I mean I do it. Like I'll have my headphones on when I walk to class or like
Mm-hmm.
but I like when I'm with a person like walking or whatever, I won't have my headphones on, right? Cuz like
Yeah, you're
if we
talking.
want to talk, like we can talk. Like I'm not going to completely close off people, but it's just like a new thing and I feel like a lot of the times like my generation doesn't know how to communicate cuz we just whenever we don't feel like talking, we just go on our phone or like
Mm-hmm.
put headphones on, like, and
Headphones
that's
on.
how we avoid conversations.
Yeah.
We just avoid it in general. Like
Yeah.
that's just
It's
how it is, and
crazy.
it's like it's normal. Like it's not anything that like is out of the norm. It's just
That's what you
it
do.
just
That's
makes
what they
sense
do.
apparently, yeah. And it's just like sometimes like yeah, it's nice to like keep to yourself. Like me being the only child, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always kept to myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
never had siblings to like go bother or like, I
Mm-hmm.
never really had anything to do. Like I wasn't necessarily like in sports or anything. Like so it was like, school, home. Like that's literally all I ever did.
Yeah.
So like listening to like music or something is just like a distraction for
Mm-hmm.
me personally because it's just like something to get my mind off of things, like
Yeah.
it's just my little getaway, I guess.
That's how you learn lyrics so fast, like apple bottom jeans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was 4 or 5, I don't even know how old I was, but I was little, and that song, I don't even know the name of it, but
Yeah, but
everyone
you
knows
would.
that song, the apple bottom jeans,
Yeah,
boots with the
boots with the
fur.
fur.
Yeah, that I used to sing that all the time when I was
That's so
little.
funny because
And
listening to
like
the lyrics
now,
for
yeah.
us, we were like,
Yeah. Well, when I was little, I didn't know what I was singing, but
well,
now I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, heck no. I
what the
mean,
heck was my mom letting me listen to when I was
I
little?
know, right? Well, I know. Well, I can't say anything because you and I went to the Drake concert, and I
Yeah.
like his music, so
Yeah.
I had a good time.
So it's just like funny because it's just like now,
Yeah.
like you listen to music and it's just like you're singing words and it's like you
Uh
really pay
huh.
attention to it sometimes and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it meant, or
Yeah.
you think about it, but it's just like for
It's
me,
music.
music is just like it's just something I have like I don't know, it's just kind of like a getaway, I guess, like a
It's
little
like your zen. It's yours.
distraction.
Yours. Yeah, where you can zone
Yeah.
out and you can relax. I think music has that. Um, Music is that way for a lot of people. I think
Yeah.
they use music for comfort,
Mhm.
when they're grieving or when they're feeling
Yeah.
down or whatever. I know I do. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm like, "Oh, I'll just put on some songs that I like,
Mhm.
and instantly I'll like, okay, I got to get out of this and I got to get back to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, but yeah, it's different listening to music now. And for us, when I'm at the airport
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll put on headphones just because I don't feel like talking to people, and I
Yeah.
learned that from somebody else. The guy goes, "So I put headphones on, but there's nothing playing because I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to people today."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I can understand that at the airport for the most part because
Yeah.
when you're on a plane as much as I used to be, now we don't fly a bunch, but when we did, it's like, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Are you here for war? Are you
For
here to go to
work.
Disney? I'm like, heck
Yeah.
no. You
Yeah.
know, are you going to Hollywood, Beverly Hills? Like, no, I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
You're going
I'm
down to
here to work.
Manhattan. I'm staying away from for that as much
Yeah.
as I can.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
blame you,
I mean,
but
it's just different. Yeah, I mean, you're used up for it's the same purpose,
mhm.
right? Even though there's a generation gap,
Yeah.
but it's different methods of how you listen to it now,
Yeah.
and the subscriptions is another thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
you
like a
said
whole different
Spotify and
story. Yeah.
iTunes and all those, even YouTube. So like we a while ago we had what is that thing? Dot is that's Alexa or Siri?
Oh, yeah. Alexa.
Okay, yeah. So
Mhm.
we had her on, right? And every 3 or 4 songs.
Make sure she doesn't turn
I know.
on.
Say
Alexa.
Alexa. Yeah. So every 3 or 4 songs, she'll ask you, "Do you want to subscribe to
Oh, like Prime Music or
yeah, Prime
whatever.
Music,
Yeah.
blah blah blah." I'm like, heck, how many? I couldn't fathom how many subscriptions
Yeah.
you gotta sort through and stuff for different platforms of music.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's cool. I had YouTube, the premium for a while, and it was
Mhm.
cool because I didn't have any commercials. But
Yeah.
even at that, now you can get one that's without commercials, but this other one is like absolutely no commercials. It's like,
Yeah.
well, hold on a second. They go tier program, right?
Yeah.
I know.
And it's like, well, cause on my TikTok recently, like I've been seeing like a lot of videos where it's like, like your 2025 goals of like the
Oh yeah.
year, stuff like that. And one of the like trends of like this year that a lot of people are like wanting to do is like a no subscription year. Like
Mm.
they're completely like taking off their subscriptions of everything and like,
Mm-hmm.
not paying for them anymore. They're like not buying new clothes this year, not buying new makeup, like finish what you have, like basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, so don't buy new things that if you already have it at home.
Yeah.
And so, like, a lot of people have been posting that, like, they'll like, unsubscribe from like Spotify or like all these like streaming services, right? And they like take them off and then for the new year and then like reuse the clothes that they have already. So don't buy new clothes, like use the makeup that you have, so don't buy new makeup or
Mm-hmm.
like just like different things, or like don't eat out every like maybe like once a week eat out and then
Yeah.
at the end of the year don't eat out at all, like so it's like progressively like so you can get there, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically like a no spend like year, like don't
Mm-hmm.
spend your money basically on things that you necessarily don't need to spend the money on.
Yeah.
So it's just like a lot of things like that. And it's like, I mean, it's like kind of like, I understand where a lot of people like come from with that. Cause, sometimes you like paying for things that you don't even know like what you're paying for. Or like you'll use it that one time and then realize you're on a subscription and you're like, oh, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
wasting my money on something that I didn't even know I still had?
Yeah.
So it's just like different things like that. And it's like, it makes sense for like a lot of the times. But like for me, like, music, like we were saying earlier, like I pay for Spotify. So
Yeah.
it's just like I know me personally, I can't not have Spotify
Yeah.
because it's like it like we were talking about, like it's my distraction. Like it's
Yeah.
something that I can like
Mm-hmm.
go to when I don't know like what else to do. Like there's some times where I'll just like be in my room bored and like I'll just put on music and like just be there, like just
Mm-hmm.
listening to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like things like that. And it's like, yeah, for some people like it might work, but it's just like for me it's not something like, I could like modify it, like
Yeah.
don't buy new clothes this year or like,
Mm-hmm.
don't buy like I don't know, skincare that I don't need, or like I'll use it
Mm-hmm.
one time and then never use it again,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Like use the things that I already have.
Yeah.
So it's just like things like that. Like you can modify it to like your own like well-being because not everyone has the same goals, like everyone's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have different goals for the year and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's understandable. I feel like TikTok has like a really big like
Like
like influence
yeah.
on like people that it's like you see something and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna do it, but it's like you're doing somebody else's goals, you're not doing like your own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like instead of it applying to yourself, you're applying it to somebody else who's doing it and you're just gonna follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like for me it's like your New Year's resolution shouldn't be like somebody
But somebody on social
following,
media
yeah,
tells you,
like
yeah.
you shouldn't be a follower, you should be a leader. That's why you
That's right.
have like resolution goals. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
to accomplish things that you want for yourself, not what someone else is accomplishing and you're just doing it because they're doing it.
Yeah, it's because
Or,
it's a trend.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. It's like, okay, yeah, it's beneficial, but by who says like June or July, you're going to get tired of it because you realize this is not for me. And
Yeah.
then you're going to fall back even deeper into what you were already doing times 10. So
Yeah.
it's just, it makes no sense. Like,
Yeah.
just do your own thing.
Do your
you
own
know?
thing. That's 100% wise
Yeah.
beyond your years. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's true. Why are you following a trend that's telling you to do this or that? I mean, but so
Yeah.
many people get caught up in what TikTok says as being, factual and stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some good information on there.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
there is. But that's across, most platforms.
Mhm.
But you just gotta. It's like the news, right? You
Yeah.
gotta filter it out and figure out and do your own.
Yeah, you pick and choose what you want to
Yeah,
listen
right.
to.
Your own research to figure out
Yeah.
like if there what's accurate there is what's accurate on social media, and
Yeah.
then what you're gonna do as far as trends. I mean, yeah, there's trends, and for work, I mean, we follow some of the trends because some of them are funny.
Yeah.
But we can't do them all because we are running a business, real business. So
Yeah.
it's like we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Erica gets overloaded with what we're doing anyway. So I mean,
Mhm.
she's got a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, social media is like a whole animal itself.
Wait, we took a little intermission.
Cameras got
a little
hot.
break.
Cameras got hot. They still get hot. We have to turn them off.
But where we leave off on?
Subscriptions.
Oh yeah. So subscriptions, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
But we were speaking of like the New Year's, like, how like we want to do like good things for the new year. I mean, I feel
Mhm.
like every year, right? Like you always put up that like, oh, well, what's my goals for this year?
Yeah.
And you get like really motivated in the beginning, and then throughout the year you just lose that motivation. Like you
Yeah.
forget like what you even wanted to start,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I saw a video where it was like, your goals aren't good enough if you lose motivation for them like throughout the year, because like that wasn't something that you desired hard enough,
Mm-hmm.
because if you wanted it that badly you would have followed through with it for the year, instead of like just
Yeah.
saying, oh, like majority of the time, like people will be like, oh, I want to lose weight, or like I want to be
Mm-hmm.
healthy, or I want to get skinny, or like like those are like the main common
Mm-hmm.
resolutions that most people have. And it's like, yeah, that's like a goal, but it's something that you can slowly start changing like month by month, but it's something that you should like have for a lifetime, for the rest of your life, because
Mm-hmm.
it's easy like for you to tell yourself like I want to lose weight, but it's so much harder to like actually follow through with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, it's good that you want that, and it's good that that's a goal of yours, but I feel like there's a lot more goals that you can accomplish like throughout the year than just losing weight or eating better or working out. Like those are good starters, but I feel like that's something that should just be a lifestyle. It shouldn't really be like a goal.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
something that you should just accomplish on your own.
You're right, and you're absolutely right. Spot on when you say like if you want something bad enough, then you get it done and you'll do it.
Yeah.
And if you have a goal, if you don't make that part of your discipline, to follow through with it, and then you didn't really want it bad enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of things like that I really want to do, and find ways to get it done.
Yeah.
Or make it happen.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, when I set my goals, I do it and I follow through. Like,
yeah,
no. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
me neither.
I think it's just, for me, it's like what I've learned throughout the years, just like I really realized like what I actually want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like with my, like, for like instance, like my goal for the year, like, and I was telling you this the other day, like, is to like have like the goal of like respect for myself, just to
yeah.
like understand, like,
Yeah.
what I really want in life and what I really don't want.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of like, going around the bush or like tippy-toeing around
Mhm.
people, because it's just like at the end of the day, like I'm doing the things that I am doing for myself. I'm not doing it for I shouldn't be doing it for anybody else. I should
Mhm.
just do it for me because I want it, not because somebody else wants it for me, or because
Yeah.
like I want to make somebody else proud. Like I should do it just solely just because I want it and I want to do it for myself.
That's right.
So it's just like, for me, like that is my goal, is like just learn how to be like self-respectful towards myself, and just
Mhm.
learn how to do better for me, and like
Mhm.
see where that goes, because it's just like I can just remind myself to do it, but it's like I need to fulfill it and like go through with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because the worst thing to do is let yourself down to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, yeah, I mean, mine is time.
Yeah.
I would just like to be able to control my time better
Mhm.
and be more effective with my time.
Yeah.
So I need to. I know it sounds like hard, like how can controlling time, like
Yeah.
can you control time? There's
Yeah, you
ways to
can
do it.
control it. You just can manage it a lot
Yeah,
better.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's the ways to do that.
And it's like I mean it is possible. It's just that like I said, like, you know, if you want it bad enough, like you'll make it happen. It's
Yep.
just depends on how much desire you have. And it was like it was funny cuz I was like I was on my phone like thinking of like things like, you know, like to talk about and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And there's like this app where like it'll tell me like little quotes like
Mhm.
throughout the day or like once a day like it'll notify me like a little quote. And like let me see, hold on.
Okay.
I need to read
Let's
it
see.
cuz I was like this is weird cuz everything that we're like talking about it's like kind of like tying into it.
Yeah.
So basically the quote was what you actually desire may be different from what you were raised to desire.
Whoa, read that again.
What you actually desire may be different from what you were raised to desire.
Oh, yes.
So like what you fulfill or what you want in life may be different from what you were raised on like fulfilling.
Mhm.
You know, like all your life you're probably like told like you need to do this, you need to do
Yeah.
that, but it's
Yeah.
like you're doing it based off of that, but you should really be doing it based off of what you want, not
Yeah.
what other people are telling you to do or
Mhm.
you know wanting you to do and stuff like that. And so it's just like it was just weird to me how like you know like I was writing down like what we could talk about and then what we're talking about like it's tying into that, so it was just like kind of like a coincidence of like how it just came about to be.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I know when I was growing up, it was raised to be like, be a doctor, be a lawyer, and,
Mhm.
you have respect from people and you make a lot of money. But I was far from that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think I do okay still.
Yeah, you do good.
So, I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to do that. And
And it's just too like I feel like for instance like when I was younger like I was always the baby, right?
yeah,
So like I growing up I always felt like I had to accomplish things that like my cousins would accomplish because you
yeah,
know like they
comparison.
were like my role models
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
know like there was someone that I would look up to
Mm-hmm.
because they were older than me. So it was just like I always felt like, you know, when I graduate high school and I'd be like, okay, now I have to graduate high school. When I graduate college, okay, now I have to graduate college or I have to get good grades because they got good grades, you know, and I always
Mm-hmm.
felt like I would compare myself to them and like be like, oh, well, I need to do this because they're doing this or like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily like I need to do better than them. It was just like I need to get to where they're at, you
Yeah.
know, and stuff like that. And so for me, I feel like a lot of the times I'll just put that pressure of like where I'll compare like, oh, you know, there's people my age that are millionaires or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, why am I not there? Or, you know, there's people who are successful with like collaborations with these like big corporate companies. Why am I not there?
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, why haven't I figured out what I want to do like for my career? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And that's why like this year, like that's why I'm trying to do the self-respect thing just because I'm tired of like comparing or like telling myself like I'm a failure because I'm not where everyone else is at
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's just like I should put it in my head of like I am like 50 steps ahead of some people that wish that they were in my position, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Cuz I feel like a lot of the times like no matter how much we compare ourselves like you're always going to want to be ahead, but then there's somebody that's behind you that wants to be where you're at.
Yeah,
So it's just like
that's
you have
true.
to look at it like that. So,
That's true. And
yeah.
what you say right there is something I dawned on me a few days ago.
Yeah.
Where I was, I mean, we're competitive, right? I mean,
Yeah.
people should be competitive, right?
Mhm.
Um, real life is not trophies. Everybody in real life doesn't just get a participation trophy. That's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
But that's another topic. So, in real life, you should be competitive, be able to do better. And it's not that you're wishing that that person would fail tremendously so you
Mhm.
could just shine. No, no, it's just you want to be there or better.
Yeah.
That's just the way
Or
you should
using it
be.
as motivation.
That's right. So nothing, not a knock on anybody. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is. And for me too. And I, came to the realize too that hey, like, you know, moving progressively, I don't need to be worried about being, where that guy is that owns that A-Star. I'm
Yeah.
going to get there.
Yeah.
I might start off with the Robinson first, but I'll get to that A-Star eventually,
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely true. I mean, you're absolutely right. So do what's good for Haley. And I'll tell you that forever.
Yeah. And I think it's finally getting there up into the front where it's like, okay, like it's here. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
now it's just something that I need to like try to work on this year. And that's like my main thing.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Even for me, I mean, I try to do what I talk, what I say,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because we could talk about it all day long, but it's like we realistically we gotta do it.
you gotta do it. Yeah, I heard a quote from Andy Frisella. He said that people are just continually buying books and his books or other people's books and watching their podcasts or their episodes, him or other people, and but they don't apply what they learned.
Yeah.
They go to school perpetually.
Yeah.
Right, master's degree, master's on top of that, master's on top of that, but they don't actually go and actually execute on what they've learned.
What they learned, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we got to do, and that's the hard part. It's like getting up and going and exercising.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It's always the hardest part.
That's the hardest thing. Uh-oh.
Brothels. Oh, I think I need to answer this.
Go ahead. Hold on. Let me pause it.
Hello. Okay, resume.
That was funny. Okay, we're back on. That was one of your jobs.
Yeah, they were
one
calling.
Of our jobs.
Yeah, it's just pretty cool to like like
good.
that one saying that people are always like, oh, your actions speak louder than your words.
I know.
And it's really true because I feel like a lot of times people like think about it in a different way, but it's like you can apply it to literally anything and everything.
Yeah, you can. And
Yeah.
some people just don't know how to apply stuff, or they think like, oh, well, that's not. They're talking about this specific thing, but no, you have to learn how to apply things to.
Yeah,
what they're
things are
talking
not
about.
gonna just fall into your lap and
No,
like
they're not
happen.
gonna have a specific speech or topic
Yeah.
about what you do specifically. No, you
Yeah.
have to learn how to apply that.
Yeah, well, it's like even like influencers, like we look at them and they're like, oh, like they have it so easy. Like they just do this and that. And it's not, I mean, like sometimes like they'll share, I like when influencers like share like their actual day to day lives and like what they actually do. And, it's more than just getting in front of a camera and just talking. Like people don't understand, like there is more to it. And it's like, yes, they're making a lot of money off of it just by talking into a camera, but there's more that goes into it than just talking into a camera,
Yeah.
So it's just like for a lot of it, it's like what they say, like I'm pretty sure like they started off like talking into front of a camera or in a mic and just talking about whatever, but it's like they didn't think of it as it was gonna blow up into something big or whatever, like some of these people, they started off just randomly doing it for fun and then they got into it and then they became millionaires just by collaborating with these like these companies that wanted them to work for them and stuff like that. Like like there's a lot of gym influencers that I follow that they would just post TikToks or videos in general of just them working out. And now like there's one of this influencers that I follow and she's like has like $1 million contract with Gymshark because
Gymshark. Wow.
she just started posting videos of her working out and she would buy their stuff and she would wear it sometimes and then now she like has like a contract with them. So it's just like different things like that. Different things like that. It's just like you wouldn't think about. And so that's why like when people say like actions do speak louder than your words, it's true because it's like in order for them to get there, they had to do the action in order for them to be successful.
Yeah, they had to do the work.
Yeah.
They had to do the work and they had to start and they had to go with the uncomfortable with being filmed or talking in front of groups of people and all. I remember when I first started all that and it's still kind of weird and it's hard. But now I'm just like, it's coming because now I see it and I'm like, I walk past them and I don't even think anything of it anymore because it's just a thing now that people do. They document what they're doing for their social media.
And it's normal. Like
it's normal.
Nowadays, it's normal.
Even I know some of the people now in the, when I see them on commercials, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy does this or that guy does that. It could be anybody nowadays, from a person in the gym, somebody who works at the grocery store is an influencer, somebody who's a tradesman in plumbing, electrical, air conditioning. I mean, not just movie stars and singers, But I mean, you never know. So you could do it whenever you wanted to, whenever you have the time, because you're getting ready to start, You have 2 jobs. You're getting ready to have 3 jobs. You're also getting ready to go to nursing school, and you're gonna have 0 time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, that's the end of the show. Sorry, we can't go on definitely. We gotta go eat pizza.
We gotta eat pizza.
All right. So.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Thank y'all for joining. If y'all even listen to the video, that'd be great.
Yeah, just
If
give
y'all
us
made
like
it this far.
one like. If you give us one, you know what? Let's make it more than one. How about 3? If you give Haley
Okay.
3 likes on her YouTube, then we'll talk about doing another video.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Sooner.
we're gonna
We'll do
try
it
to do
sooner.
these as often as possible.
Yeah.
If our schedules work together,
Yeah.
because someone is leaving for a month.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Someone's
Don't
giving
remind
off for a
me.
month.
Oh,
So we'll
man.
figure out when we can do this again. But please give us a like and a subscribe. That'd be very, very, very helpful.
That'd be awesome.
And yeah. And if y'all have like any comments of like something we could talk about next time, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah.
Thanks for having me again, Haley.
Yes, you're always welcome. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
He's learning. He's learning.
Doesn't work. Wonder why.
If it's working, it's just really low. Do you hear it?
No?
I hear it.
Oh, wow. It's low.